Goddamn.
Goddamn is right as... Why is my camera blurry? Okay, give me 2 seconds here. There we go. All right, man. God damn is right. How's everybody doing here today on your Friday edition of the news? Thank you guys so very much, as always, for joining us here today with this edition of the news. Again, thank you guys so very much. And we got, honestly, a pretty stacked week of news here today. Not really any, I would say, outwardly ginormous stories, but a lot of little yet important stories here today, that are going to be very interesting to get into, man. So I'm excited. Thank you guys as always for joining us. If this is your first time watching, guys, do not know how the show works. Every Monday we are on here after Monday Night Raw with NHP Unscripted. Hold that thought. We will come back to that in just a second. And every Friday, we are on here at 3 p.m. Central with the news. And with that, if this is your first time watching, guys, do not know how the show works. Every Monday, we are on here. No, my bad. If you guys did miss this past Monday's edition of Unscripted, Triple H finally added some excitement to the summer. That is episode 200 and I want to say 51. I almost said 61. Episode 251. That is available for you guys on all platforms. That is Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and if you want to stay first, join us right here live every single Monday after Monday Night Raw for Unscripted. With that, if this is your first time watching, you guys have not got a chance to get your hands on some of the official NHP merchandise, you guys can now find this live on the merch shop. That is bonfire.com. Link is at the top description of this very video where you can get this beautiful piece of Notorious Heels merchandise live on there as we speak, man. So with that being said, if this is your first time watching and you do not know who we are here and Notorious Heels, I am Johnny, one half of the host of this very show, and as for the other half, we got my man Sir K here. Please tell us what you are smiling about today.
Always, man. I can't do that. But I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Just been chilling out, man. Been chilling out. Been pretty normal lately. Just waiting for these next shows, man. All in week. Well, technically, Night of Champions weekend is first. I'm more thinking of All In Evolution weekend.
Yeah.
But a couple good weekends coming up with some good shows, man. So very interested, very excited. Due to changes or announcements in King of the Ring, I'm nervous, but overall, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Just been chilling, man. Like Durante always asks, how's life? How's the family? Life's good. Family's good. How is everybody doing in the live chat? How's everyone doing watching the replay? What about you, bro? How are you doing?
I am doing good. I am doing pretty good, man. Honestly, not too much, man. Like you mentioned, just waiting for these big weekends. But well, that's Durante his ass. I'm good. Family's good. What about you, Durante, Logan, Bell, Hunter, anybody here now in the live chat or a part of the Replay Mafia? Thank you guys so very much for joining us here today for this edition of the news, man. So, speaking of Mondays, man, obviously, you guys know, every Monday, we say it in the intro every week, every Monday, we are live after Monday Night Raw with Unscripted. I love that time slot. I think that time slot's great. Time slot's always going to hold a special place. However,
Classic.
Due to some scheduling changes and due to just a lot of just changes in the personal life, a lot of changes in my personal life, man. Unfortunately, all good things have to come to an end. And it is my pleasure to announce that... Oh, brother. I fucking... Shut the wrong image. My bad, wrong image. I hit the wrong. I hit a different. I hit you number one. I forgot. There's another image that starts with a U this week. We'll get to that in a minute. I know you guys just saw it, but anyways, regardless, I'm fucking up all over the place today. If this So it is our pleasure to announce. It is our pleasure to announce, man, that Unscripted, starting June 24th, as you can see on your very screen, will be moving to Tuesdays. Now, this is Tuesday morning, so you guys will not get, the scoop from Monday Night Raw and the whole entire week of wrestling right after Monday Night Raw. You guys are just gonna have to wait. What is that? Maybe like 12
Hours.
yeah, about 12ish hours or whatever, from the time that we normally do it. Maybe like, what is that, 12-14 hours, something like that. You guys are just gonna have to wait till the next morning. So it is moving to Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Central, so noon Central Time. Like I said, it does suck. We have to move off the Monday time slot, but it's just the way things are shaping up right now in my life. It just worked best to move to move this show to Tuesdays, man. So we appreciate you guys coming along for the ride. We hope to see you guys there in the live chat or a part of the Replay Mafia, whatever it is. You guys are still going to be able to catch us talking about the week of wrestling, talking about Dynamite, SmackDown, Monday Night Raw. It's just not going to be at nighttime anymore. It's not going to be after Monday Night Raw anymore. It is going to be the very next morning. So right now, this is just what works best. If we do happen to move it any earlier, we will let you know. The earliest we will probably move it, at least right now, is 11 a.m. So just an hour before this, just to see what works best. But we're going to be starting out with 12 noon Central. So again, thank you guys so much for the support, and we got one more week of the Monday time slot. It's gonna be sad. It's gonna be sad for sure, but it's good change, I guess. It's good change.
Definitely, man. It's going to be a good change. I think it's going to go well. I'm very curious to see, especially, it's going to be earlier in the day, so maybe more people like Belle will be able to join in Unscripted, which she usually doesn't get the chance to. So
Yeah.
I think it could open more opportunities, man. And I'm excited, man. It's gonna, part of it does suck leaving the classic Monday time slot. It's gonna be real weird watching Raw and then just like going about my day.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm excited. I think it's gonna go well. And I'm excited to see, your guys' reaction, and I'm excited to see how it goes, man, because I think it's gonna go great.
Yeah. No, for sure, for sure, for sure. I am excited about it. Like I said, bittersweet. I love that Monday after Monday Night Raw, especially when there's a good Monday Night Raw. um, it's nice to just hop on here right afterwards, man. But um, it's only a couple hours. It's only a couple hours later. That's the way to look at it, I guess, man. It's just like I said, 12 or 14 hours later, whatever it is, man. We will be, like I said, live for Monday, for what would be Monday Unscripted, Tuesday morning Unscripted, man. So, like I said, I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate you guys sticking with us. It's just what works best right now. So thank you guys again for rocking with us. You guys know we're still going to be here. Monday's the only one that's changing. Obviously, if Friday will not change. If anything, if there is any time changes to Friday, it'll obviously be week to week if we do have to move it up, move it up earlier in the day. We will let you guys know, but we always let you guys know anytime, just a couple days before, that the show will be moved or whatever. And then obviously, you guys know, for the WWE and AEW, we're going to be live with the post shows right after the show. That's not going to change. Just Unscripted. Like I said, it's been a great time slot. It's been awesome, but sometimes change is good, and in this case, change is good, but it is needed at the time, man. So thank you guys again. Thank you guys for the support. You guys already know. Thank you for rocking with us, and I'm excited to move to Tuesdays, man. I'm again very, very curious just to see how that's gonna go just to see the vibe of that, and just it was because it definitely took some getting used to earlier this year when we were doing earlier unscripted with the international Raws. So for unscripted to be a normal thing where I can look out the window, unlike most wrestling fans, I can look out the window and see sunlight. It's gonna be, that on a weekly basis is gonna be interesting. So yeah.
It's gonna be real interesting. No 4-day stretches anymore with the big pay-per-view weekends. But overall, man, I'm excited to see how it goes.
For sure. For sure. Um, so yeah. So, yes. Thank you guys again, and I'll play it for you guys one more time. Unscripted starting in 2 weeks. So, not this upcoming Monday, but the next Monday, the 23rd. We will not be live that night. Instead, we will be live the 24th. The Tuesday, 12 p.m. Central time for Unscripted, man. So, appreciate you guys as always, man. Thank you again. Yeah. Well, okay. Man. To start you guys off, man, you guys see the title, you guys see the thumbnail. Triple H. Triple H, man. Over the past 6 days since Money in the Bank, there has been a ridiculous amount of trash being talked on Triple H's name. And things have things have definitely got interesting, because as the stories start to come out, and again, all this stuff just gets brought to light, this is going to make for some interesting talking points. So we're going to get to the R-Truth stuff after this, but according to Fightful Select, there is one veteran in the locker room that was speaking on the R-Truth situation. They stated that they can tell that Triple H does not like the fans hijacking creative. Sir K, man, what do you see? I don't know if it's just me, but I don't really see fan input as the fans hijacking your creative. Personally, I think that's a bit much to say. Typical WWE. The fans, they speak out, they want something, they call WWE out on their bullshit, and what do? They turn it on us. And they try to say that the fan base is hijacking creative. It's just like all the years when somebody would walk out of the company, somebody would be fed up with all the bullshit. What would they do? They would turn it on the talent and say, he left all his fans. Dude, no. He left your bullshit, or she left your bullshit, whoever the case is. Typical WWE here, man. What do you make of this being the general consensus from Triple H and him feeling that the fans are hijacking his creative?
Well, John Cena, in his first heel promo, talked about how the fans and him were in a toxic relationship, man. And I think that also is true for the fans in WWE. How are we right and we get gaslit into still being the bad guy? I don't understand that, man. I really don't understand that. But it's just so extra. Like, dude, we didn't like something. You did something we didn't like, and we wanted you to fix it. How is that hijacking creative? How are fans not liking something you put on? That's the point, that you're running a media company. That's like half the job is fan reaction, and then moving around or through or accommodating that reaction. It's the whole. If Marvel puts out a bad movie and everyone said, "Hey, never do that again," are they just gonna get mad and butthurt and make the same movie again because you messed up their creative? Like, It's such a stupid way of looking at it, man. I get you don't want, fans to actually hijack creative because I see Twitter all the time, they fantasy book shit. I'm like, wow, that shit is ass. Um, but like, it's you gotta have to listen to general fan input, especially when it's something like the R-Truth situation.
Hmm.
So I think it's kind of a weak ass mentality from Triple H, and I hope that's only, you know, not as strong as it seems to be in this story, man. And hopefully they could he could suck it up and listen to the fans and not be butthurt that he has to listen to the fans, man. But what do you think about this?
You know what, man? See, I can't fucking look, man. We do you remember? You remember when we did that 2024 review, 2025 predictions video?
Yeah.
One of the things I did not
Go on.
predict, I would have to say, yeah, please go watch it. That was a great video. um, um, one of the things I did not predict in my 2025 predictions was the fact that I would have to sit here and say in 2025, when talking about Triple H of all people, who does that sound like?
Mm.
That sounds like a Vince McMahon ism. He hated the fans hijacking creative. Remember on the Raw after WrestleManias when they would try to gaslight us and try to gaslight the viewers at home and say, what did they used to say? This is the Raw after WrestleMania, the night where fans normally what was it? Normally boo the people they cheer and cheer the people they boo. No.
Like, what?
That's not true. This is the night you guys get some of the best reactions on Monday and some of the rawest reactions to how people feel about people on the show. And see, the thing here with Triple H, man, is here's the thing, Paul. You better be happy fans are hijacking your creative, because if all this summer is your idea, you better hope that the audience speaks up and gives their input and wants to again give fan input into creative. But no, because it's looked at as hijacking creative. Make that fucking make sense. And two, fans are and what's crazy is, according to this article here, this is only speaking on the R-Truth situation. Triple H, you need to be looking at the fan reaction to most of what you're doing right now, because most of what you're doing right now sucks. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Majority of this summer, everything has just been rather boring. It's been rather boring. You have meaningless tag team championships, meaningless tag teams, meaningless factions, meaningless champions. You have Io Sky stuck backstage. You're one of your guys getting the best reactions on Monday Night Raw is stuck in a fucking backstage segment every week, fucking yelling at people and then laughing at them. I mean, what?
If he's lucky to even get that.
I mean, seriously. I mean, what? And
It, it,
speaking of boring creative, I see you guys talking about. I see Logan talk about it in the comments. Jey Uso gets the final King of the Ring spot. You have got to be fucking kidding me. You've got to be kidding me.
dude,
And look, I see it. I obviously would have loved to have seen Dragunov come back in that spot. But, if he's still hurt, it's obviously nothing we can do about that. That's fine. Karrion fucking Kross. What the fuck? What is it going to take? What is it going to take? You put Jey Uso in a tournament to get a title shot when he just lost the title.
how in the hell is he even allowed to be in that match, let alone he's in the match? And the worst part is he's probably gonna win that match. Um, and advance from those four guys in the tournament, man. That is so lame and just lazy as hell, dude. Oh, who do we get Dragunov back? People want that? No. Do we get Cross? People want that? No. Let's get Jey Uso, the flop of a world champion, man. I don't know how you put him in there, man. And it's just don't know how you're mad at fans, quote, hijacking your creative when your summer has been as boring as it could possibly be, and that's the worst sin a wrestling show can be, is boring. Um, that's what a lot of the show has been. Like you said, EO stuck backstage. Your IC champ doesn't get to wrestle. There's so much random stuff that's just the same Judgment Day segment for the last 2 years, every week. On Raw, dude, it's so stale and boring, and you're mad at us for wanting it to change. Don't get that shit.
You should be lucky that your fan base doesn't do what half of AEW's fan base has done at this point and just dip. A lot of those people
Yeah.
just dipped. You're in a position where your fans are hijacking creative, if you want to say that, because they care. That's a good thing. We should be celebrating that. That's good. But no. We have Triple H upset at the fans, and he does not like them hijacking creative. Well, you wouldn't have to worry about that if everything you were doing at the moment wasn't fucking boring. Again, you put Jey Uso in a tournament when he just lost the World Heavyweight Championship. Meanwhile, speaking of another name that doesn't make sense in that fucking tournament, Cody Rhodes just pinned the fucking world champion at Money in the Bank, and he has to fight his way through a tournament? Yet, on Monday Night Raw, you got CM Punk getting a match. Why wasn't CM Punk in the tournament so we could get Cena and Punk at SummerSlam? But
I was
no,
gonna say
let's do
it
it at
makes
Saudi.
it's wasted at Saudi Arabia and logically book it. Like you said, Cody just pinned the guy. He's got to go through a whole tournament. Punk just wanted the match and he's got it. Where's the logic? And Cody is the one that Cena took it from. I know, rematch clause is very 50-50. They say it exists and they don't.
Yeah.
It's random every time, but like he was the previous champion and then he just pinned the champ. How did by logic, how does he not have a title match? But Punk does. It makes no sense.
None. It makes no fucking sense at all. Um, Yeah, I mean, again, this to me is absolutely pathetic, and this is not a good. This is not a good type of morale you want to have between the fan base and the guy that's booking it. Is when the fans want to step in and get involved and use their voice, because what you're doing is boring, and specifically speaking, what you did to R-Truth was fucked up. You have fans speak up, and this is how you view it as a fan hijack.
They're hijacking the show, damn right. And I don't want to fucking fall asleep at the wheel, so I gotta take the fucking wheel,
Yeah,
cause you're gonna make me fall asleep, dog.
yeah. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Again, very very shitty way to go about that, in my honest opinion, and very weird to hear from Triple H, being that this dude has been known for years for listening to what his audience wants. And honestly, man, you can really start to see, you know, Triple H when he is, I don't know, man, when he is creatively challenged, he does not handle that well. I mean, look at all the stuff Mania weekend. Remember, shut the fuck up and be a fan. That's
Does not handle the pressure well of the high pressure show.
Yeah, I mean, man, like when he's hitting, I mean, he is firing on all cylinders, bro. But man, when he gets a little bit of pushback, he's very quick to get very butthurt, instead of just fixing the problems. And I don't know, man, this is not a good consensus to have. But yeah, I mean that. Uh, Again, that legitimately is some Vince type of shit. And let me fucking remind you what a fan hijack can do for your show. Because if there was not a fan hijack, we wouldn't have got the Bryan Danielson moment at WrestleMania 30. We wouldn't have got Kofi Mania at WrestleMania 35. My God, we wouldn't look at CM Punk in 2011.
It's CM Punk. Like, come on, people. Come
I
on, Triple H.
Yeah, so I don't necessarily understand why a fan hijack is frowned upon at this point, man. I mean, take it, assess the situation, look at what you're fucking doing, and again, come to a middle ground. What do you want and what do the fans want? Let's meet in the middle. Because again, I just never understood why WWE has people again like an LA Knight or a Karrion Kross, or like we talk about with like Chad Gable all the time. I never understood why they have these people and just opt to leave so much money on the table when these people want to see them.
Said people want to see them. They'd make you money. That's all the company cares about is making money. Again, they have like this weird fear and obsession with, how long is this person gonna last or whatever. Dog, and they're not doing themselves any favor, with that R-Truth whole loyalty situation that we talked about last week, man. But that's why you have your loyal guys that you are loyal to, because they'll always be there, and you get to take the risk with, even though they're not a risk, but WWE sees them as risk. LA Knight, Cross, that's why you have loyal guys, so you could take a risk on people you think you need to take a risk on LA Knight. I don't get that mentality, man.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. So that is the story on Triple H and him being upset that the fans are hijacking creative. So, with that being said, moving over to R-Truth, the situation that pretty much knocked all the dominoes over, I guess. And then I just said all that, man. I didn't even mention those Money in the Bank comments. I mean, again, we talked about it a little bit on Monday, but way to just make that situation so much worse. Seriously, man. I mean, you couldn't have just fessed up. You couldn't have just been legitimately honest with everybody. No, it's a part of the show. Nice.
Oh man, he's always in control. It's all his grand plan, man. Literally could have just said, we heard, we listened, we made the change, our bad. That's literally all it took.
Yeah.
And he just made himself look like an incredible ass. And like I said on Monday, we have a fucking post-show incident where Tony Khan gave a more professional answer to a question than Triple H. Good Lord, what world are we living in?
I don't know. I don't know anymore, bro. So, R-Truth, according to PW Insider, R-Truth is indeed back with WWE after returning at Money in the Bank. He will be going under the name Ron Killings, which is his real name, moving forward, at least initially. The decision to bring him back to the company was made within 72 hours before Money in the Bank. So right there, again, we just talked about how his comments made him sound like a complete ass twat. He then opted to say again that this man R-Truth was always a part, was all a part of the plan. It was all a part of the show. And then we hear that. Are you kidding me? And then we hear this, which makes it even more ridiculous, which, according to Fightful, a number of talent spoken to noted that Ron Killing's departure from WWE was not a work, as none of them believe that Ron is a liar, and if it was a work, he would have just told them not to say anything. Killings ignored many of WWE's approaches during the week until Nick Khan took over, stepped in, called Killings to work out a new deal.
My question is, so from the story the picture we were painted, it was, Triple H that ultimately made the decision, and was he the one calling him, or was he just having like other random people
So we
call
actually,
him? Like,
so that actually goes with another piece of news. I guess it'll be an
okay,
appropriate time to read that off right now. Where are we? Okay. So according to Uncle Dave, in the latest edition of Uncle Dave Chronicles, WWE contract negotiations are handled largely by Paul Levesque and Chris Legental. Although, when it comes to decisions on who is to be let go or called up, that would be Levesque's call.
literally took Nick Khan stepping in to handle the problem. Good Lord, man. But and again, we also live in a world where the guy in front of the business aspect stepped in and made the right general creative business decision for your company in
Yeah.
Nick Khan. Good Lord.
Uh yeah, I mean weak fucking move by Triple H, man. I mean, the guy the guy was, yeah, I was talking, we were talking about this on Monday, dude, but the guy was there 17 years. I understand if a talent was there 4 years and they're a lower card guy and you want to say, all right, you know what? We're going to have Chris Legental call him and inform him and let him go, let him know we're going to let him go. 17 years. At the very fucking least, at the very least, the only thing you owe that man is to call him or to talk to him in person, look him in his face, and just let him know why and let him know you're letting him go. That's the respectable thing to do. But again,
Mhm.
just after 17 years on a random whatever it was, Thursday, Wednesday, whenever, to call that man after 17 years and just say, "Hey man, look, yeah, you're done. We're gonna let you
That's
go. Yeah, we're letting you go for budget reasons." A guy like that, over 17 years of fucking loyalty, to call him on a random Wednesday and let the man know that he's let go by, again, somebody who's just, again, just some random talent relations guy, probably hasn't fucking been there half as long as you are, to call you and give you that information and then try to backtrack and call him back. That's just ridiculous
insane.
too. And then the rumors about them lowballing the man. Oh, well, he makes too much money. No shit. He was there 17 years. I fucking hope he would make a decent chunk of money.
Say they know like seniority with your finances are a thing in most companies. Most fucking jobs work like that, where the longer you're there, the more money and more benefits you have, even if you aren't at a higher position. Like that's just wild to me that they really thought they were gonna get away with just dropping a fucking veteran of 17 years and just moving on with their day. The fact that they thought that wasn't just gonna be a problem is crazy to me.
And dude, you cite, again, to cite budget and that he was making too much. You have just got to be kidding me. I mean, imagine that, man, working there 17 years of a giant company. You are one of the veteran stars in that locker room. A lot, again, very familiar with the audience. Very familiar with the audience, more than familiar with the audience. The audience loves the guy. To cite budget, who
It's
who
just
who told that man that? Who genuinely
hey,
had the balls to tell Ron Killings that after all the years of service, it was a budget thing? Come on.
fucking Chris Generals call this fucking guy and tell this man that for but they're acting they throw the budget thing in their face so much like dude you go to TNA in fucking 2016 where your
Legit.
lights are going out like dude you're making more money than you've ever made. How are you like that's just wild to me. A veteran of 17 years just cutting them. That, that's wild.
you, WWE takes the cheap way out for damn near everything, yet they make so much money. You can honestly not tell me that budget is a reason for letting this man go. You guys pay for the cheapest and shittiest music, the shittiest video game, everything, so the shittiest fucking merch. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, it is, you guys literally take the cheap way out for everything, and yet you make so much money and you want to cite budget.
It's insane. And like when you especially how much they tout how much money they're making and how much record-breaking profits they do every show. Like if they didn't talk about it, okay, you might have a little bit of
Yeah.
like of a reason you think you could slide it in. But dog, you tout every 2 seconds about how much money you're making, and you're gonna try to cut people just to put more money, just to probably put more money in the dude calling R-Truth's pocket to get rid of R-Truth. That type of shit is wild.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. It is quite ridiculous, bro. But speaking of truth, according to the Wrestling Observer, Ron Killings reportedly asked for a change in character and to kill the R-Truth character during his negotiations. He reportedly asked to be a more serious wrestler going forward. I think this was very needed. I think it was very needed. R-Truth, again, funny as fuck. We all, you know, they're so much. They're
Classically hilarious.
100%. There's so much that man has done from, that promo, where with Corporate Kane, where he was talking about winning the Royal Rumble match, and it was Money in the Bank, and then when he got in the Royal Rumble match, he grabbed the ladder. So many funny R-Truth moments. When he went into the Women's Royal Rumble, just again, the Judgment Day stuff was hilarious, bro. So many funny moments, man. But it got to a point. It got to a point where after they won the tag team championships after WrestleMania 40, it just definitely felt. I feel like WWE did it right, man. It just felt after that John Cena stuff. And after the whole childhood hero thing, man, it was time for a change. It was time for a change. And obviously you could have, carried along and kept doing the comedy shtick, and people would have loved it until he eventually retired. But this this was needed. This adds excitement to what he's doing, and this adds a cool little burst of nostalgia for all of us 2011 kids who remember his heel turn from 2011, because that was a fucking awesome heel turn, man. I've never to this day we've seen somebody light up a fucking cigarette and put it out on somebody's body. I mean, he quite literally smoked the John Morrison pack. And so
Deprogramming too.
he was he was great. He was great then, man. So I'm excited to see moving forward, what Ron Killings can do, and everything they've marketed towards it. We talked about it on Monday, how they put out a shirt for him that says "Killing Spree." I mean, that's pretty fucking sick, dude. That's pretty sick. So I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what he could do, man. Maybe we could get John Morrison back so he can fucking smoke another fucking cigarette in his face, and fucking blow it out on him, and then fucking put the cigarette butt down on his stomach. Good stuff, bro. Good stuff. So I'm excited to see what he could do going forward, man. And I think it was a change that, like I said, was it needed? Maybe. Like I said, they could have went along doing the comedy stuff, man. But again, this is something that is taking a risk and adding excitement. So I can always appreciate that.
Exactly. It breathes more life into, what he's doing, and I think it's going to be great. So far, what we saw on Monday was really cool. I like the attitude, I like the vibe, and I like how, again, he mentioned it, he's serious, and he's Ron Killings, and I'm very excited to see how this goes. Obviously, TV has been pretty stale lately. You had a lot of good things going for you on Raw. Pump the brakes on some of those. I mentioned it back on Monday. You got that whole, workhorse, division or workhorse section on Raw. Put him in there. There's so much you could find this man to do. So many stories you could tell with a serious R-Truth, and I hope they really do it, dude. I hope because I do have this fear that Triple H is going to be petty about this, and he's going to use R-Truth for a little bit, Ron Killings for a little bit, and then he's going to, start pumping those brakes. I really hope he doesn't be petty and do that, and I really hope he gets used because I think he could do a lot with serious R-Truth, man. I think it could be really fucking great.
I think it could too. I get that though. I get that, and I do have just a small bit of concern that Triple H is again eventually going to be petty, or he is going to do an LA night where he's going to feature the guy but never fully commit to him because hey, we want to see if this is a fucking fluke or not. Even though the fans love it and the guy gets great reactions, we want to wait this out for 4 years to make sure it's not a fluke.
Come to those who wait.
Fucking
Worst
get out of
age
here.
thing ever.
Um,
Oh, that aged so horribly.
again, if it's not that, it's the fluke thing. Oh my, they
Mm-hmm.
want to see if LA turns to be a fluke. Whoa.
Fluke. Okay, was Daniel Bryan a fluke? Was CM Punk a fluke?
Was Jeff
These
Hardy a
people are
fucking
still
fluke?
around.
I mean, come on, dude.
All
I mean,
all said people are still around and still some of the most popular people in the business. Like, come
fuck.
on, dog. Everyone knows those three fucking people alone. Come on, dog. Talking about a fluke.
3 year, what was it? No, 2 years. Actually, yeah, 3 years. He's been LA Knight since late 2022. It's been 3 years. The guy still gets some of the biggest pops. You go overseas, you talk about the biggest pop turned up to a 10. That's LA Knight. But he still gets amazing reactions in the States. They're still trying to see if it's a fucking fluke or not. What the fuck? Oh my goodness. So yeah, that is all the news on R-Truth, surrounding R-Truth and whatnot. Um, speaking of R-Truth, we got some news on R-Truth's ex-tag partner in the Awesome Truth, The Miz. One
Mhm.
half of the greatest tag team of all time, Mellow Don't Miz. The Miz. Where is The Miz? Well, he is working on a TV show called American Gladiators. There are reportedly issues from one side. They did not specify who the one side was. This is from Dave Meltzer, by the way. There are reportedly issues from one side due to the Miz and AEW talent. The two other AEW talents on this show are Camille. Wow, was the last time you heard that name?
She is.
And then speaking of the last time you heard somebody's name, and Wardlow
Oh, look,
being
there he is.
being being featured on American Gladiators as well. I can tell you right now, I certainly hope the issues are not from WWE because didn't Naomi just star in a fucking movie with Tony Storm, Camille, that women's wrestling movie, and then not to mention isn't Becky Lynch in Happy Gilmore 2 with MJF? So
Say MJF in that movie. He
i-
plays one of his sons.
so if that's the case, where was the again? Now they didn't specify that the heat was from WWE. In saying that, I don't really know who else the heat would be from. Um, so it sounds like a WWE thing because like who? I mean, Tony Khan doesn't really care. Um,
he did. These aren't people he cares enough about to be
Exactly.
mad. You know what I mean?
And I was gonna say,
So like,
if Tony Khan cared about it, we probably would have heard something like this with MJF being on I don't. Tony's worried about Tony things. He's worried about his 10-man tags and a 12-man tags. I think I Tony just does not give me the vibe that, I mean, he lets so many AEW people do side projects as to where WWE holds things under a microscope, who's doing what. So again, it leads me to believe that WWE would have a problem with this, because again, this has not ever been a problem for AEW people in the past. So again, I am very curious to know what the problem is here, because WWE and AEW people star in movies together all the fucking time. So,
yeah, hey, there's so much random crossovers of things and that. It's like, why? What's there to trip about, man? It's gonna be a show. The Miz is gonna be on it. He's Mr. Talk Show, so it's fucking perfect for him. And the Gladiators, Wardlow, Camille. That makes sense. I mean, yeah, the really thing I'm getting out of that is if Wardlow can be on that show, he can most certainly wrestle. So where was he?
well,
AEW television, but
according to last week, they were going to bring him back earlier in the year, but he was doing this. So Tony Khan said that they're going to bring him back afterwards. We'll see about that.
well, I'm sure they were done filming like 3 months ago. Still haven't seen the guy. But yeah, it's weird because again, if it does come from AEW side, that's really weird because they never cared about that before with bigger stars. Um, so I would assume it's WWE side, and what are you mad about? It's The Miz. It's Mr. Talk Show, and he's on a show as the host, and they just happen to have people who wrestle on AEW. Again, they're not even like big AEW name. One of them should be, but he's not. They're not even like big, massive stars. If like, okay, if you had Kenny Omega or Will Ospreay on there, okay, that'll get some traction, on the internet, and people will be like, oh, I guess, but like, I don't, I couldn't muster what the beef is. I really don't get what the anger comes from.
That makes two of us. That makes two of us. So, with that being said, that is the news on somebody being upset over The Miz being featured. The Miz and AEW talent being featured on American Gladiators. And if you're so upset about it, why didn't you just tell him no? Uh, and two, we talk about this thing with loyalty. You're really mad at the fucking Miz? The Miz. I mean, are we really mad at Mike the Miz Mizanin
Like
right now?
you, like I'm sorry, you can never be mad at that guy for doing what he does. You know how much shit that man was through from you guys and from the people you guys employed. Like what? How are you mad at him? People
Uh,
pissed in his bag.
They 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 had bro changing in the public arena locker rooms or bathrooms. I mean, they had this motherfucker at the they had this motherfucker in the arena bathrooms changing for his match. Please, please explain to me why you are mad at the Miz after everything he's been through with this company. He
Like, how
he
are you
got
mad at him?
he got cursed out by Chris Benoit for doing something he didn't do, and that was supposedly eating chicken over his bag. He got
I'm gonna
screamed
say,
at
bro,
for that.
by a murderer. Bro got screamed at by a known murderer in your company, and you're mad at him for doing a show. Dog, what the fuck? You can't make this shit up.
Had this motherfucker getting into his tights in the arena bathroom with the fans.
So you just see some random fat Mark fucking trying to peep in on him while he's fucking changing, and you're mad at him. Come
Bro,
on, dog.
bro had to wait in those long arena bathroom lines. You gotta be kidding me with this. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's see. All right, speaking of more things surrounding deals, Mr. Iguana. Well, according to Uncle Dave, no. Sorry, that one's later. According to Mr. Iguana himself, he has revealed that WWE wants him to join the main roster. He says, and I quote, "They told me, you're not going through NXT. You're heading straight to the main roster. We need you here because your shirt is a top seller in WWE, and you're also the fastest rising star when it comes to action figures and trading cards." The fastest rising star, I think, is just maybe a bit much. Um, but
LA Knight was selling shirts.
hey, constantly one of the
Well,
top shirt
yeah,
sellers.
maybe they gotta wait because maybe they don't know if this guy is gonna
Oh,
be a fluke or not. Hmm.
he could be a fluke. Yeah, he could be a fluke.
You never know, man. People love him, so they might not love him in like a month or two. You never know.
With saying that, WrestleVotes went in further on this, and they stated WWE has a significant interest in having Mr. Iguana be a part of their program on a regular basis. They have a strong interest in both a marketing standpoint and a community outreach standpoint, as they feel the character can connect with the younger audience. And with that being said, according to Uncle Dave, Mr. Iguana reportedly has heat backstage for his recent comments about skipping NXT and going straight to the main roster. He was reportedly brought in to NXT this past week to sign a new deal with the company. Dave, I don't think this is adding up, because according to Mr. Iguana, they told him that. Again, I don't
I
know
was
if
gonna say,
I don't know if he's lying. I don't know how smart that would be. I mean, I don't know how
and
really smart it would be to lie about that right now. But
and even if they didn't tell him that, at least to me that read off as like a joke, like, oh yeah, they're gonna have me go straight to the main roster and do all this. I read that as him just fucking around. I didn't read that as that's his plan. That's what he expects.
yeah, he says here they told me you're not going to NXT. So if anything, I think if he has heat on himself, then they should have heat on themselves for telling him that, because why would you tell the guy that? And again, if he was lying, I don't really know how good that would do him at this juncture. But Mr. Iguana is said to be the fastest rising star in trading cards and action figures. Seems to be pretty over. Um, I don't know how serious WWE would really take him though.
Oh, he's gonna be speed champion before you know it, man. That's what they'll delegate him to. They love their side comedy acts, especially now that R-Truth is serious as Ron Killings. I feel like they're gonna want something to generally make people laugh on the show, and I could see Mr. Iguana as being one of those occasional people that pops in, makes you laugh, and then they move on with their day.
Yeah. So I don't know whether we see Mr. Iguana on the main roster. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm gonna be interested to see what happens with the guy, but yeah, I doubt WWE would really use him in any other significant way other than, like you said, that R-Truth role. So yeah, and then yeah, apparently he has heat on him. I don't really know how long. Again, if he's a top merch seller, I highly I highly underestimate that WWE would keep their heat for very long. So
Exactly, man.
um Logan says we're undershooting Mr. Iguana. So here's the thing. even if he is good, if he's a good wrestler, I can see WWE using him on speed. I just don't see. I what I'm saying is I'm predicting WWE will underestimate the man. Now, again, I haven't really watched a deep dive into his work, but I just don't feel WWE would use him in a significant role.
I was gonna say, look at Chad Gable. He's probably the best wrestler they have in their roster, and they put him behind a gimmick luchador mask for laughs. That's like they constantly they themselves undersell people, and I think he'll be one of those people that they undersell.
Yeah, I know a lot of people wanted to see him in that King of the Ring spot. A lot of people were hoping. I even think Bronson Reed posted something that he wanted to tsunami the little stuffed animal he carries around with him. And he was even saying, I think he posted something on social media saying he wanted him in the match. And I'm sorry for all you iguanas out there because it's fucking Jay Uso. Jay Uso got that spot.
The old lamest answer fits Triple H.
Meanwhile, they could have done something a little exciting. Sheamus did post about him as well. Yeah, that was that was the other one I seen. Yeah, but yeah, so that is the news on Mr. Iguana in WWE, man. Whether he goes to the main roster or not remains to be seen. So, speaking of another name that WWE or not WWE. Speaking of another name, a lot of fans wanted to see in the King of the Ring tournament in that last mystery man spot. The mystery man that went to Jey Uso. A lot of people wanted Ilya Dragunov. Well, according to WrestleVotes, Dragunov is getting closer to a return and is expected back on WWE programming soon. Had Jay not been announced, I would have said, "Hey man, maybe he could be the last man."
Yeah, man. Nope. Jey
Maybe,
Uso.
yeah, they said maybe it'll be Dragunov, maybe it'll be Karrion Kross, maybe it'll be someone from NXT, maybe it'll be Mr. Iguana, maybe it'll be El Hijo D. Dr. Wagner Jr. Maybe it'll be Vikingo. No, it's Jey Uso. Get out of here, dude. Honestly.
So fucking lame, dude. Ugh.
So Dragunov is expected back soon. Hey man, Gunther is world champion. Dragunov could be coming back. Maybe we could finally get that matchup, man. But we will just have to wait and see on that. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see, as always, what my boy Dragunov is going to do. I am pumped to see this man back. I miss this man so much on television, dude. This man, I miss Dragunov, bro. I'll say this, man. The way WWE was using him the first go around, you know, he had only been on the main roster for about a summer. And I'll say the summer did not impress me very much because I remember hearing before he even got called up, he was going to be treated like a Gunther. And he was not treated like Gunther would be. And I know damn well that they treat Gunther a hell of a lot better than they treated Dragunov. So hopefully when he comes back, man, there could be a changing of the tides and he can actually, start to be a legit force to be reckoned with on Monday Night Raw. And I mean, fuck, man, the roster can use it at this point.
Oh fuck yeah, they need the boost of momentum with a returning guy like Dragunov. TV could definitely use him on Monday nights, and he's a fucking beast, dude. I want him back so bad, and we're getting him back soon, obviously per the story, man. But really hope we could get him soon, and we need that main roster Gunther versus Dragunov match, and it could be for the world title. That's more than perfect.
Yes. And again, even if Dragunov, exits that in a losing effort, you just know that Gunther program is going to massively aid him in getting over with the main roster
Fuck
audience.
yeah.
So, speaking of another injury, Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark provided an update after her serious knee injury on the May 19th edition of Monday Night Raw. In a video posted on June 9th, Zoe showed herself going to the Rothman Orthopedic Surgery Center in Orlando 8 days after she suffered the initial injury. She then confirmed that she was about to undergo surgery on her ACL, MCL, and meniscus. Stark was then shown post-surgery giving the thumbs up. As she noted, surgery was originally scheduled to take 2 hours, but ended up lasting 3.5. The 30-second clip ended with Zoe saying, "What's next for Zoe Stark? Tune in Monday, June 16th." Starks has previously had surgery to repair a torn ACL and meniscus. She is expected to be out of action past WrestleMania 42.
That sucks, man. That really fucking sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, around this time next year, Zoe Stark could possibly be making her return to the ring, man. So, hopefully she makes a speedy recovery, man. Hopefully she can make it back quicker than expected, but we will just have to wait and see. But yes, wishing her a speedy recovery for sure.
Most definitely. Wishing her a speedy recovery. Hope everything goes well, and really hope they use her when she comes back, man.
So, according to PW Insider, Bianca Belair, the hope internally is that she will return to in-ring action by SummerSlam this August, if not before, which puts Evolution in jeopardy for the EST.
That sucks.
Man, couple broken fingers, man. Who would have thought? That sucks, dude. That sucks to hear. A Evolution without Bianca sucks a lot, and it is going to be very interesting to see. It's going to be very interesting to see what exactly they bring her in doing, because if she comes back around August, that would give me the assumption that would be after SummerSlam. So, or maybe a little bit before, which would make me assume that she wouldn't be the world champion and wouldn't be going up against Jade Cargill. Because that was my initial thought. Was, Bianca gets the title, Bianca and Jade for the world title, Naomi comes and cashes in during that match. But if Bianca is not back until August. Now it does say if not before, so I'm assuming she's on a decent track to recovery. But if not, it's going to be interesting to see how that whole thing shapes up. Because I mean, you could save whatever you were going to do with Jade and Bianca and Naomi until maybe like a Clash in Paris or something like that, which is always a good option. It would be a good option for them to do, but yeah, man, I mean, it is it is interesting to see, man. It is interesting to see, and hopefully it does not take that long.
Hopefully it doesn't take that long. Hopefully they could organize their booking plans for all this in time, and hope she could come back in time. It sucks that she'll probably have to miss Evolution. Don't worry, we got Nikki Bella instead, man. But yeah, it really sucks because she should definitely be a part of that show, and having to miss important shows like that is always the worst.
Definitely. Speaking of the women, I was just talking about, Jade Cargill. According to PW Insider, we can expect a big push to be given to Jade Cargill heading into the WWE Evolution 2 event in Atlanta, Georgia on Sunday, July 13th. Cargill is a local from the area, so from a promotional standpoint, it's a great look to help move tickets.
But I always seen her getting a push very soon, and
Yeah.
I think with Queen of the Ring, I think we're about to see it.
Yeah, I mean, if WWE really wants to, go all in or whatever, I could see Naomi costing her a King of the Ring spot to get, or a Queen of the Ring spot to get her out of that tournament so they can go ahead and fast track her winning the title to Evolution. I mean, it all just depends on how big of a push are we talking. Because again, she could win Queen of the Ring and go on to SummerSlam to get her title match, or if WWE really wanted to fast track it, like I said, they could end up giving that. They could have Naomi screw Cargill out of the tournament. Maybe, Cargill somehow, finagles her way into getting a title match at Evolution rather than at SummerSlam, and then have some of the stuff pop off there, unless maybe they just do another Naomi match like they did at Mania. But yeah, like I said, this one all really depends on how big of a push are they talking here. So we will have to wait and see, but this is something that I think is was expected the whole way with Jade. I think all of us had a feeling she would end up getting her hands on a world championship this year. How good the reign turns out to be, that we will have to wait and see. But yeah,
Most definitely.
the Bellas. The Bella twins. So, it is being reported per TMZ Sports, Brie Bella is in talks with WWE to appear at Evolution on Sunday, July 13th. With that, WrestleVotes reports WWE are hopeful that Brie Bella will come to terms on a return to the company. Creative are working on an angle that will see Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defend the women's tag team titles against the Bella twins at Evolution. With that being said, according to this is legit, per People, Nikki Bella began training for her in-ring return in January, often flying across the US to train at the WWE Performance Center while balancing day-to-day life in the West Coast. The plan is for Bella to have another extended in-ring run. Look, man, I don't know what the whole situation is. All I know is I did hear a story that she got to pay child support now. This makes all that sense in the world for
Oh
that
yeah,
reason.
she. I wonder why now she's coming back and for Evolution too. Listen, people love her,
Because
and
here's the thing, man. They paved the road.
they, sure, if you want to say that, maybe. Um, yeah, they're back, dude, and dude, we have the best women's roster you have ever had so far, and it just got even bigger recently. Stephanie Becker on the
Exactly.
main roster. You got Julia Ovekwe, sorry. You got Julia, you got Mariah May in NXT now. You have that whole NXT women's roster, and you're trying to put the Bella twins in my face. I have Stephanie back here. Why would I want what very probably the worst time they could have brought her back? To be honest, I know it's Evolution, and they're trying to do the pave the way spin about why they're here, but like. It's night and day of who I want to see and who's in front of me. It's her time has passed. She had her time, and let the people now have their time because you have what 8, 7 spots, if 7, 8 spots on that show if we're lucky, um, and you're spinning it on a Bella Twins tag match. Not my ideal of Evolution.
Um, no, not at all. This is something I called down to a T when we were talking about this on Unscripted, when we were going over Nikki Bella's segment. I said one of the possible matches that they could look to be doing is the Bella Twins versus Liv and Raquel for the tag team championships. And whoop-de-fucking-do, here we are. Again, I know some people that love them. There's other people that, sympathize with, whatever's going on in their personal lives, personally. Again, obviously this don't got nothing to do with them personally, but from a TV, from a creative standpoint, I just do not have any interest to see them. I do not care about a match with Liv and Raquel versus the Bellas. I just, man, I do not care. It is, again, like you said, this women's division that we have nowadays is just, it's stacked. It's stacked top to bottom, and here we are, in my opinion, wasting a spot on the Bella Twins. You know what I mean? You could have Liv and Raquel go up against, there's you have tag teams on that roster. All you got to do is build them up. You have Piper and Alba Fire. You have the potential tag team, which I would probably have gone this route for Evolution, because otherwise I don't know what the other two women do. I would have done Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss versus Liv Morgan and Raquel for the tag team championships. That's what I would have done. And they end up going with this. And again, it is very, very, very underwhelming. Very underwhelming again, and it just seems like a waste of a spot, bro. It really does. So yeah, that is the news on the Bella Twins coming back. Nikki seemed to be coming back for an extended run, so we will see what happens there. And I'm sure, again, we've seen her on Raw, so something's going to be going down at Evolution. So nothing we can do about it at this point, man.
Well, there's nothing we should be able to do about it, man. We should just watch as fans.
That's true. This is true. We should just shut the fuck up, watch the fucking show like fucking fans, and be a fan.
Not hijack. We can't hijack the show, bro. So maybe we should just stop.
But see, I got a bone to pick with you, Sir K. Because when you were talking about, I have many bones to pick with you, but but when you were talking about how stacked the women's division was, you said a name in there, and I didn't quite recognize that name. You said Mariah May, I think you said.
And I forgot, man.
Well,
yeah, I don't know who that is.
According to NXT this week, they play a vignette that was it was really cool. It was very Tony Storm-esque. You could definitely tell a lot of the just vintage vibe to, not full on Tony Storm, but you could just tell, like, with some of like the 90s filters they were kind of using on the vignette, and then the little cartoon. NXT this week played a vignette for who we knew to be Mariah May. And at the end of the vignette, this week on NXT, they play this image. And at the end of the vignette, it says, starring Blake Monroe. As Blake Monroe seems to be the new name for who we all knew as Mariah May. Blake Monroe is the name they went with, man. As days passed, obviously, you just kind of got to tell yourself at this point, and
Something changed.
yeah, it was gonna change. We knew it was coming. We heard the story last week. We knew it was coming, and you do have to tell yourself, if you don't have 20 idiots running around on Twitter every day reposting the same thing. We don't like LA Knight. We don't like Gunther. We don't like Finn. Yes, I get it. I get we did not like these
When
names,
people
but
post that.
it's the same
Oh, I
thing
hate
every
that.
time. It's this. We don't like this. We don't like that. Yes, just shut up and let us get used to it, please. So as days passed, it honestly isn't terrible, but honestly, from my initial reaction, what my initial reaction was, what is Blake? I did not like Blake at first. Again, it's unique. I mean, it's definitely unique. That's for sure. Personally, I probably would have done something like Mariah Monroe if you wanted to change it up. But again, it's unique. It's gonna grow on us, and it is what it is. But this is the new name for Mariah May, man. But how are you feeling now versus your initial reaction, Sir?
I gotta agree with you. It's the same for me. My initial reaction is different to now. Now I am already getting more used to it. Um, um, I would have probably went with like you said, Mariah Monroe, May Monroe. The Monroe part is really fire, really cool callback to AEW. Interviewed with Tony Storm,
Yes.
who's big. Most of her gimmick is based off Marilyn Monroe. So it's really cool. I love the last name. First name, I thought it was really, really dumb at first, because I think of, Blake, I think of fucking
Blake
Blake
Griffin.
Christian, Blake Griffin, you know, but
She may want to
the
go
more I
roundhouse
look at it,
somebody.
and even and even more looking at this image, the more I read Blake in that font and with that last name, I think I'll get used to it pretty fast, man. I don't think it's that bad, but I would have probably put a different first name in, but I get why she went with that name, and I didn't like it at first. Obviously, we never do. I don't get why people are mad that people don't like name changes at first, but it's not bad, and I think I'm gonna get used to it. I love the last name part. Don't love the first name part, but that part I get used to.
Def- Definitely, man. Definitely. So, um, yeah, no, I gotta say, man, I gotta say, going back to what I was originally saying, when fans post that same fucking thing every single time, as if we're not supposed to question anything, and like, dude, again with wrestling fans and name changes, dude, it is like I mean man, it's like imagine your best friend or your sister decides to just go to the courthouse one day and change their name to something completely different. Over time you're gonna get used to it. um Over time you're gonna fucking get used to it. But when you initially hear it, you're obviously gonna be like,
You're like, what?
huh? Like,
Ooh.
yeah, my name was, Jacob, but now I went with Enrique. Like, what? Like, it's just one of those things. But
Dude,
like, it's like it just takes time. But everybody's just always constantly they post the same post. We didn't like remember, guys, we didn't like LA Knight. We didn't like Gunther. We didn't like Finn Balor. Like, yeah, motherfucker, we get it. Can I just get used to the name, please? Like, obviously, when it first happens, I'm gonna be like, ugh, like, why didn't
yeah,
they
like, oh,
just
what?
look at JC Mateo already? He's JC Mateo, but of course, we have to go through the same post. Oh, he remember when everybody was like, "Man, what the hell is Solo Sokoa? What's a Braun Breaker?" Now those are just their
Okay.
names. But it's like
Yeah,
the wrestling fans, they always got to be a step ahead of the rest of the
company.
community. They always got to
Exactly.
be the voice of reason for the community, man. Remember, guys, remember. Yes, I
Remember,
remember.
guys, we did. and I still would change half of their names back. But yeah, those fans are so annoying. Like I get it, you like the company and you want us to just be happy. Um, I wasn't happy at first, but now I am. I think it's fine. I'm already getting used to it, and when you get used to it this fast, I know within by the time she probably wins that NXT title, which is probably not that far off from the current time we're in, I'll be yeah, that's what she'll be going by. But dude, I hate when they post that type of shit. It's so like
Like, yes, I
I
get
don't know,
it.
it's so like prestigious,
It
to them. They're so it's like,
they
okay,
feel
I
so
get it. You're a
right.
better fan.
Yeah,
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 like I get it. You're a better fan than me and more of a fan of like I get it, bro. But I don't like certain name changes at first, and sometimes I never like them. But you
yeah.
get used to them, so it is what it is. He's
I-
still Jeff Cobb to me, bro. Like,
oh,
but
for
I'm gonna
sure,
call
for
him
sure.
JC Mateo, because that's what they call him. But like, he's fucking Jeff Cobb, bro.
A
Like,
hundred, yeah, 100%. It's like Alistair Black. You know what I mean? Yes, we called him Malachi Black, but if you look at the names, I would have, if you would have given me the authority, I would have, I would easily just change. It's just a thing we go through. We always talk about it with Walter. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Gunther is a good name. It's a good name. Again, that one, I went out kicking and screaming with that one. I did not. It took me, man, probably like a year and a half, 2 fucking years to fully commit to calling him Gunther. Um, but now
don't forget about the other one.
it's just
Mm-hmm.
it's it's just Gunther. Look at
It's just
uh look at Eric and Ivar. That was another one. Took me a very long time. Do I like the other names better? Yes. But they're just fucking Eric and Ivar now. Actually now they're one's dead, the other one's buried. Dead and Buried is their tag team name to me now. So I, I don't
Well,
know,
people
but
forget about Gunther, bruh. They tried to give him a last name too, and it was Starks. They were gonna make the guy you see, our world heavyweight champion,
Gunther
if it was
Stark.
up to Vince, would have been Gunther Stark. Like people forget that part about the Gunther name change, man. But yeah, name changes. I just hate those fans that are so just fucking self-righteous about just loving it instantly and be
Yeah,
like, okay, I get it.
yeah.
Yeah, I hate those type of fans, dude.
Yeah, like you can't not everybody's going to deal with. I mean, it's a name. This is like the main thing that
You
people
know who
like
people are.
identify as. Yes, like people are identifiable first by their name. You know what I mean? So to change that an IP that's so important, it's just like, bro, do we get used to it? Yes, but again, it doesn't make you the smart fan or right to go and make your stupid post to just sit there and try to just they make us try to feel like bad guys for just even questioning like what is that, you know what I mean? But it's just
Why would
like,
you question that?
yeah, I mean, it's
You always get used to it. It's like, yes, I fucking get it.
like, excuse me for being like, oh man, again, like I said, imagine your best friend just decides, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the courthouse one day and just change my fucking first name," and then off rip expect nobody to call me that my original name that I've used for many years of my life. I just want you guys to switch over like that and not be just like, huh? So I don't
I was
know.
just
Good
gonna say,
old
imagine my nameplate for after this episode, starting the next unscripted and forever on there. It just says Doug under my name instead of Sir K. What would you guys do? Like, like, come, like it's not something that just happens. Like that's your name, that's your identity. Like, come on, bro.
Like, imagine next week this fucking guy's nameplate says Sir AB or something. You know what I mean? I'm still calling him Sir K. You know, I mean, it's not.
I don't know about that.
It's gonna take me a minute to get used to calling him Sir AB. You know, I just again, it would be like that would obviously everybody calls me Johnny. That would be like, you know what? Today I'm gonna pack up, head over, and change my name to Freddie. and expect
Donovan
everybody
now.
day one to just be like, "Oh, what's up, Fred?" It's not how that works.
What's up,
People take
what's
time
up,
to
Don?
yeah, people take time to get accustomed to changes, man. And again, I can tell you my reaction now. The name is unique. I like the name. You know, again, my initial reaction was Blake Griffin. Now I don't know why that was my initial reaction, but when I just hear the name Blake, I just fucking think of Chris Paul throwing Blake Griffin a lob back in 2014 and Blake dunking on somebody's head or jumping over the fucking car at the dunk contest. That's what I think of when I hear Blake. So that was my first thought. But again, over time, we get used to it. It is what it is, and it's okay to not accept a name change at first. It is okay.
Wrestling fans, they gotta be right, and they gotta just be with the talent and the company, man. You know, God.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, they try to make everybody feel like an asshole for being like, "What the fuck is that?" So, I don't know, man, but it is what it is. Speaking of people that underwent name changes, L.A. Knight we got some news on L.A. Knight. As remember, guys, we hated L.A. Knight at first. Just remember that. Man, you fucking soldier.
I'll fucking die in war, you good soldier.
Man,
Fucking Mark.
what a hero you are. Thank you for reminding me that. Thanks.
Here's your purple heart.
Well, according to Corey Hayes of Body Slam, LA Knight is expected to feud with Seth Rollins going into Night of Champions on Saturday, June 28th. 3 words. I don't know how many letters. No fucking shit.
Oh fucking shit. Like,
No.
no way. He attacked his teammate, and Jey Uso is now in this
Come
match,
on.
and who else is in that match? Braun Breaker, or not Braun Breaker,
God damn it,
Bronson
Bronze Reed.
Reed. Fuck, okay, God
Sorry.
damn it. Literally Jey Uso's gonna win that match because LA Knight's gonna do the same thing he did to Braun and screw over Bronson, and LA Knight's gonna win that match. So, no way he's gonna face Seth Rollins at the show.
What the fuck? I mean, okay, not only is this very apparent, this is, I think, very telling for the future of Mr. LA Knight because he is probably going to be hanging out with the Seth Rollins group for the remaining time, I
In 2
guess,
years.
even though they're on separate shows. But yes, he's going to be, again, I said it on Monday, dude. He's going to go from being the Bloodline's punching bag to now Seth Rollins and company's punching bag. So this is just wonderful. This is wonderful news, man. LA Knight is again, when's he gonna get his moment, bro? When is this man gonna get his moment?
Things come to those who wait.
I fucking guess, dude. I fucking guess. But yeah, LA Knight is looking to be feuding with Seth Rollins and his group, and honestly, man, this is something, WWE could fix this easily with this feud. They could have Seth Rollins drop the briefcase to LA Knight, but who am I kidding? We all know that's not going to happen. LA Knight is probably going to feud with them and it's going to be the Bloodline all over again. LA Knight got his ass whooped by the Bloodline for all those years, faced them for, 78 weeks straight on Friday Night SmackDown. It's probably, we're moving him from one faction to another.
Exactly. It's literally how it's gonna go. They're gonna numbers gain him, and he's gonna be a part of the War Games team against that group at War Games, and that's all it's gonna build to.
Yeah. Speaking of
So great.
Speaking of Seth, we got some news on We got some news on Rollins and Company. This is also, according to Corey Hayes, WWE are working with a mainstream artist to produce a new theme song for Seth Rollins. Rollins' group with Braun and Bronson are also expected to receive an official faction name soon.
Soon.
I am very glad for this because I do not know why this hasn't been a thing already. Again, it has been, almost 2 months since after WrestleMania where these guys have been called Rollins and Company or Rollins and his running buddies. I think it's time we get them a name.
Running. Exactly. I don't know how, when you're creating a group, one of the first things you think of before you even assemble a group is what their identity is going to be. That's beyond me, but I'm glad we're finally getting this, and it's going to be sad to see that theme song go. That was a good one. And I'm very intrigued to see who and like what they'll be coming out to, man.
Definitely, hopefully, I know Rollins has had a theme song done by Downstate before. I would imagine they go with something rock. I obviously don't imagine,
Ooh.
I don't see this group coming out to something hip hop. So I imagine them coming out to something rock. Hopefully, they get a good mainstream artist and not some schmuck or some completely unknown artist that Def Rebel fucks with that they just use every single time for every single person's theme song. So I'm excited for that. However, I am interested to see what their name is. I know I threw out there before the Vision. Seth Rollins always talked about how they're the vision for the future. So I think that would be a good name. They also talk about what did Paul Heyman call them a couple weeks ago? The Vanguard for the future.
Vanguard could be cool. Vision or Vanguard. I think both are good.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, hopefully sooner rather than later they get some sort of identity, man. So yeah.
Definitely.
That is that. That is all the news surrounding Seth Rollins with his music, his group name, and his next feud being LA Knight. So, speaking of Seth Rollins, he holds the Money in the Bank briefcase, unfortunately. Should be on LA Knight, but it is on Seth Rollins. One of the champions that could be in jeopardy is the newly crowned Gunther. And with Gunther, this brings us to Goldberg. Why does this bring us to Goldberg? Well, according to PW Insider, Goldberg will return to WWE programming this Monday in Green Bay, Wisconsin, as recently reported by Corey Hayes of Bodyslam.net. Goldberg will be regularly appearing on Raw leading into WWE's Atlanta weekend, which is All In weekend. And with that, according to Uncle Dave, Triple H reportedly made the call to have Jey Uso lose the World Heavyweight Championship as he wanted Gunther and Goldberg for the world title. The match is set to take place at Saturday night's main event and go head-to-head with AEW All In. Dave, I hate to break this to you, Dave. They're not going head-to-head anymore. They were. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm sorry I had to break this news to you, Dave.
Good old Dave.
Man, I mean, this is okay as long as we're not thinking about putting the title on Goldberg so he can go out on top, which I feel Triple H wouldn't do, but you always got to keep that thing in the back of your mind because Goldberg's very selfish. But I mean, I guess this is okay. I don't really know why that needed the world championship, but if that's your excuse to get the world title off of Jay, then you congratulations, Triple H, because you lied right to that man's face, and I appreciate it. So if that was the reason they gave Jay or whatever, then that's quite hilarious. But again, I mean, I guess maybe they wanted this to have a bigger fight feel. I'll just say, man, as long as they don't do the Goldberg, Goldberg leaves on top and he
Oh,
wins the world title for the final time to end his career. Um hopefully not, man. I just wonder, did WWE choose his last opponent or did he? Because it's very interesting. It's very interesting. I wonder if maybe he likes Gunther. Maybe he likes Gunther, which is weird because they are completely fucking different. If there was anybody that I would have maybe picked to retire Goldberg, it would have probably been Braun Breaker. But I get you got him tied up with all the faction stuff. It would kind of be an odd side quest to just have him go fight Goldberg for no ungodly reason. So I wonder if he chose that or if WWE did. It just seems more like a WWE move to me. Like I said, unless he really likes Gunther, maybe.
he does.
But then again, that does come as a bit of a shock because they are completely different professional wrestlers. But yeah,
Literally, you
so
got. Mhm.
yeah, that's my thoughts on it. As long as we don't go the Goldberg goes out on top story.
Exactly. I really hope not. Like you said, man, that's my only gripe with this is as long as Goldberg loses, I'm cool and fine. It's on a Saturday night's main event. No one cares about those things anyway. So you're
Yeah.
not really wasting a real pay-per-view spot. So it's fine. I don't mind it. Like you said, as long as Goldberg loses, I'm cool with it. And if that's your excuse to get that title off Jey Uso, I'm cool with that too, man. So. I wouldn't have needed an excuse personally. I would have just done it and just told him, yeah, I want fucking Gunther as my champion, not you. But you got to give the man an excuse. You got to give Rikishi an excuse. So it's a good one, but I'm very interested to see, how they do this, and like you said, it is very interesting to see, is this a Goldberg thing? Is it like a more Triple H WWE thing? Kind of two opposite ends of the spectrum. Got one of the best, technical, you could say, break down his opponent guys in Gunther, and then you got the two move smooth fucking Goldberg. So it's very interesting to see that matchup, I guess. But hopefully Goldberg loses. That's all I care about.
I hope so. I will say it will be very entertaining to see Gunther rip him apart on the microphone because Goldberg is not really a great talker. And Gunther, I'm not saying Gunther's like some CM Punk man, but Gunther, if he wants to, man, he will rip you apart on the microphone, bro. So I'm interested to see that, and yeah, like you said, man, I'm just very interested to see who chose this opponent, because again, completely opposite, man. Like you said, man, you got Gunther's complex style versus the fucking one trick pony of all one trick ponies. So very interesting to see. But moving on here, we got some news on the WWE draft, and our prediction was correct. Because according to Body Slam, WWE is reportedly considering holding a roster draft following SummerSlam. I guess in a sense we were sort of wrong. We said maybe right before SummerSlam, and then everything goes into effect afterwards. But they go on to say, the last thing that we heard about the WWE draft was that they have been considering doing it post SummerSlam, most likely as a tie-in with the season premiere episodes in September. With the recent call-ups, there hasn't been a reason to follow. There hasn't been a reason to what? Oh, hold on. With recent call ups, there hasn't been a real reason to now reshuffle rosters as storylines are still ongoing. Whether this means post SummerSlam or post Clash in Paris is yet to be determined. But um but in but in time for season premiere episodes, I would say definitely yes. So season premiere episodes, uh, at least for SmackDown, that what is that? The middle of September. So I guess that would be post Clash in Paris. Um, we would be we would be looking at that, which you know does make a little bit of sense. And they always do those SmackDown season premiere episodes, and there's really nothing new about them. It's just an episode called the season premiere. So I think that would obviously add a bit of coolness to the season premiere. And obviously it does work because now you're not doing brand versus brand Survivor Series, so I guess it would make sense to do a draft in September. Because you don't have guys that are just freshly drafted on the roster a month and a half later fighting for the right for SmackDown, even though they've spent 9 months out of the fucking year on Monday Night Raw. You won't have that anymore. The only thing is, they they need a draft. They need a reshuffle bad, very bad. So again, it makes sense to have it in that time slot. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it makes the season premieres, I guess it would make them feel different and feel better, feel more like a shakeup. But WWE, I mean, they seriously got to they seriously gotta lock in with these call-ups, man, because I mean, it feels so fucking boring, man. And the only thing really bad about the September is after Mania, you don't get those shakeups anymore. After Mania, you just go right into no shakeup. And I really don't care about your season premieres with the networks, man. Your season end, the end of your season should be WrestleMania. So again, I don't really care how your 52 weeks with the network works. WWE, in my opinion, again, although I could see why it makes sense to them, your season, the end of your season, your NBA Finals, your NHL Stanley Cup, your Super Bowl is WrestleMania. And obviously they don't have an off season, but still, that should be the end. You should go into your Raw after Mania, SmackDown after Mania. That next week on Monday Night Raw, there should be a draft 2 weeks after WrestleMania to just shake everything all up. But it's not what they're going for, which again could help the season premiere episodes, I guess, if you want to look at it from that way. But again, if you're from a booking standpoint, I'm just saying your season end should be WrestleMania.
Exactly, man. Exactly. I don't get why they care about, it's on every week. You don't have an off season. So why is there a start of a season in the middle of just an episode of SmackDown to another episode of SmackDown? It makes no sense. Like you said, after WrestleMania, okay, it's your big show. It's your big season finale. You could call it. Boom. Next night, next few weeks, that's the new section of your season. That's the new season. But in the fall, it's another episode of SmackDown, and it makes no sense. And especially right now, and they definitely need a draft. And like yeah, you're getting more people on the main roster, but like it's not organized. And we want it to be organized. We want fresh faces on fresh shows. You gave us some fresh faces, but the faces that have been there are not fresh. And you can make them fresh by shuffling them around, man. So I think it's kind of dumb to wait till after SummerSlam, possibly after Clash in Paris.
Yeah.
Very jarring, especially right before, even though you don't have your brand stuff, you still have war games. And a lot of times it's people who are staples on said shows being a part of their teams to face the heel team on that show or whatever. So I don't know how much makes it sense to still do it before Survivor Series, man. But I don't know, man. I don't like it. I think you should have done the draft already. And they didn't. And I think they're just gonna just continue with stale television if they're gonna wait that long for the draft.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It is yeah, it is something that WWE again I think is looking into the interest of the network season premieres over the state of television. And I mean, again, if you want to make a random episode of SmackDown and Raw in the middle of September feel special, then I guess, knock your socks off. But like, what about after Mania? If this year was it was anything but an indication, then I don't know. I don't know what it was, man, because this should have been the indication to not go ahead and just let everything fester after WrestleMania. So, because you could clearly tell, man, that you wanted to, move people around anyway. I mean, if you look at all the stuff they've been doing, you know what I mean? They did Randy Orton and John Cena, which they had Randy Orton show up on the Raw after WrestleMania, or you got Logan Paul and John Cena fighting Cody Rhodes, a SmackDown guy, and Jay, a Raw guy. And then now, with this whole feud with LA Knight and Seth Rollins, you have a Raw faction and a SmackDown superstar. So you could it's like you're telling us you wanted to do a shakeup, but you would rather put more focus to, all in all, what ends up being just a random episode of SmackDown in September. So I don't know.
Definitely.
So, Omos has shared that he has signed a new multi-year deal with WWE. Why? Is the guy that they have not used since he's been back from Japan in February. They have not used him. Why he re-signed with them, I don't know. Maybe they promised him something. Maybe they didn't. But, yeah, I don't know about that one, man. I don't know about that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I really don't know what the thought process is with WWE and Omos. Like, you're not using them. You let go of R-Truth, but you were gonna keep Omos and not use him. I don't get their thought process by this. I mean, at this point, he did really good over there in Japan. Just let him go over there, man. I don't get what they're keeping him for.
Not at all. Not at all. You want him to get better in the ring. Again, I ask why you didn't let him just stay in Japan for that. Or who even knows if they are sending him regularly to train, or if he's just sitting at home. Who knows, man. I mean, I don't know, but whatever the case is, man, I mean, get a move on it, bro. Let him go, use him, do something. I mean, if you're really that, not confident in the guy, just put him in NXT, put him in Evolve, fucking something. Do something. Do something with the guy. And again, if he doesn't pan out and if he doesn't work out the way you're hoping for, just let him go.
Like,
so yeah, and for the final WWE story for today, CM Punk. Is he really going to Saudi Arabia? Well, according to Uncle Dave, he says CM Punk could not go to Saudi Arabia if he really wanted to not go. He was going months ago. I had already asked a couple of months ago when the show was first talked about, and he was in the original promo package, but then they took him out. And then I asked, am I supposed to see Seth Rollins replaced him in that promo package? That he's not going, and they said nope, he's going. So it's been known for months. Probably all along. I don't know if he ever voiced any issue. With going at any point since he signed. but he hasn't in months. I know that. Okay.
And you sure voiced opinions in Miz going.
So,
Sorry, I had to get that in there.
man, LOL. So CM Punk, I, I guess the man is legitimately going. Which, if he is going, if he is going, it is I will say the Miz tweet is funny. It's a lot funnier now, and that's always going to be brought up. I will say though, I'm very glad we do not have to miss him at Royal Rumbles or the eventual Saudi WrestleMania. I am glad we get to see him at those. And I know a lot of people are, upset about this. I can't really say I'm upset about him going to Saudi Arabia. It's his choice. Sure, he said things, but he also said things about WWE before. He also said he would never come back to wrestle, and he's back to wrestle. If you want to call him a hypocrite, if you want to feel some type of way about him, that's up to you. That's fine. Whatever. Do what you want. I really don't care. But me, again, is it hypocritical? Obvious fuckingly it's hypocritical, but it's hypocritical for him to be back in WWE. But we all fucking shut up and enjoy it. So, it is what it is, man. So again, I'm not fucking wrestling fans, dude. I was seeing stuff all week where these wrestling fans they're talking as if they're his fucking wife or something. They're on Twitter talking about
Pointed.
yeah, I'm gonna hold him to this. Hold him to what? What are you gonna
Who are
do?
you?
Who are you in his life to tell him where he can and cannot fly to? And again, if you want to fucking call him a hypocrite, sure, go ahead. Is it hypocritical? Yes, it is. But again, if you want to get on him for being a hypocrite, then surely you have to be mad at him for going back to WWE, right?
You have to be mad at him for doing half the things he does, dude. It's like, what are you that mad at? Yeah, he said he didn't like people go on there in the past. He made a very hilarious tweet about it a few years ago, and he's going, okay, why do you care that much, man? Um, but like you said, dude, I'm very glad that it really clears up, Saudi. If he is going to these Saudi shows now, that makes those shows in these schedules so much easier booking wise and so much better because he could actually be there, man. So this is true. I think in the long run, it's really going to be good for the show.
Yeah, 100%. It is, and like you said, it does clear up a lot. And of course, like I said, you got these people. I'm holding him to this. I can't. I can't accept this, or I guess he doesn't support gay and trans rights. Like, dude, do you know how many talent go there that support gay and trans rights, but they just go because it's their job? Are they hypocrites too? Just asking.
Yeah, I agree with everything my job fucking does. Like,
I mean,
what?
how are you to tell the man what he does and does not believe in? I mean, seriously, get with the fucking program. I mean,
I don't believe in it, man.
like, what the
Uh,
fuck? Like,
wrestling fans, bruh.
it makes no sense, dude. What are you going to hold him to exactly? What are you going to do to Phil Brooks that is gonna make him just be sad that some random fucking dude with Stephanie Vaquer as his Twitter profile picture think about him? I mean,
Exactly.
what the
He's
fuck?
gonna just drop down on his knees and cry. Like, what are you gonna do?
I mean, it is what it is, man. I don't believe that CM Punk doesn't support these things anymore. I'm sure he does support them. But again, this is his choice. This is his business. If he wants to go, then he wants to fucking go. I mean, it is what it is. By that logic, you have to say the same thing about everybody else. that goes over
Yeah.
there.
Exactly.
So, I don't know, man. I don't know. But CM Punk's going to Saudi. My main problem here has nothing to do with CM Punk going to Saudi. My fucking problem here is WWE not doing the John Cena and CM Punk match at Chicago or fucking SummerSlam.
Literally, dude. Why are you wasting it at a Saudi show randomly?
If anything, you should have had Cody get the match at Night of Champions because he just pinned the champion, and have CM Punk get King of the Ring. So when we get to MetLife Stadium, John Cena, CM Punk, boom, that sells out SummerSlam. That's the match everyone wanted to see at SummerSlam, mind you. We're getting it at Night of Champions. We're getting it in Saudi. You've got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. Again, you had two choices for this match. You went with neither of them. Chicago or SummerSlam.
Sense, man.
Which it doesn't even look like Chicago's getting a pay-per-view this WWE calendar, so do it at SummerSlam. This is what everyone wanted to see. No. We get this match in Saudi. Wonderful. Now, they're calling this one final match or one last time, whatever the case is. I hope that's not the case. I would think these two have got to go again because I don't see Punk winning this. I see Rollins getting involved wholeheartedly, man.
Oh, 100%, dude. 100%.
So, that is the news on CM Punk. Going to Saudi Arabia. Looks like he's going. And I know a lot of you people are very upset. And are challenging his beliefs. But again, it's okay. And just remember, man, you really, I'm sure you really let him down. Because you're holding him to this one.
They're gonna hold him, duh. They're gonna hold him.
Yeah. I'm sure he's mildly upset that you guys are upset with him. So, with that, man, we're going to move on to AEW here. But before we get to all of that, man, we have an official word from the official sponsor here at Notorious Heels, W Energy. W is a clean energy formula loaded with vitamins and nootropics, formulated to improve focus without getting the jitters. Like I said, it is a clean formula, sugar-free, 0 calorie, free from fillers and artificial colorings, with 150 milligrams of caffeine per serving. You can get your W products today with the link below and code NHP at checkout to save yourselves 10% on your next W purchase.
Really, always got to shout out W, man. Whether it's workout, whatever you may need the energy for, man. Watching any wrestling show at this point in its current state, you'll definitely need the energy, man. So try W. It'll keep you awake. You won't have the jitters, and it'll taste good all at the same time.
There you go, man. We're definitely going to be needing it on Monday when we see Jey Uso pin either Sheamus, Miro, or Rusev, or Bronson Reed. So that's going to be wonderful. Yes, so as always, shout out and thank you to the official sponsor of what we do here at NHP. Thank you as always to W. All right. Starting off, man, with one of the members of the Adam Cole family, Brian Cage. Brian Cage, man. Where is Brian Cage? Well, we do have an update on his injury. As according to a post on social media, Cage noted that he has already had surgery to repair a torn quad tendon, which he opted to have the knee replacement procedure. He says in a post, 4 days post knee replacement, 8 weeks post quad tendon repair, and I'm already back in the gym. Love me, hate me, or somewhere in between. You can't deny I'm a fucking machine. I've been dealing I've been I've been dealing with excessive knee pain for years and have been working through it with the intention of going under the knife after All In. With the unfortunate setback of tearing my quad, I figured it the F out. Just let them just get them both done. Not an easy or fun choice, but I'm gonna come back ripping effing heads off. Especially if this is me right now after surgery. Shout out to Ricochet for filming and getting our set in. As he posts a video of him working out. Wow, that was that exuded that recovery post really exuded Mamba mentality by Brian Cage. That was awesome.
Say, dude, how are you charisma vacuum in your fucking injury post, dog?
That was some of the
Good,
corniest shit I've ever
again,
read in my life.
genuinely some of the most corniest, but we're gonna rip heads off. When I dude,
I'm gonna
you
rip my
tell a
head off
fucking
when you fucking.
machine
I'm gonna rip my own head off when you come back to the Adam Cole family over there on
of
Dynamite.
a fucking machine, dude. Listen, good that he's gonna be back. Good thing that he's on a good track, and I hope he's back soon. And I hope he's back healthy. But God damn, that shit was some of the most cringy shit you've ever just read off to me, bro.
I
I
was
was just
reading
sitting
that
there the
like
whole
I had to skim past it twice. I was like, what? All right. Well, glad he's in good spirits and glad he's an effing machine.
He's a fucking machine, man. He's yeah.
So I'm glad he's a fucking machine and not fucking a man anymore.
What a tweet. Literally best tweets of all time.
That was probably Brian Cage's best moment in AEW. That post Swerve tweet. Congrats, Swerve. Fucking a man.
Didn't you no comma, bruh. Did not you think he forgot the comma and Swerve, fucking a man.
All he had to do was
Glad
put AYE, but he just put A. Fucking a man. Wonderful. Great stuff, Brian Cage. So
tweet.
So, according to Fightful Select, Danhausen's AEW contract is set to expire in July. Oh my God. When did they bring him in, dude? Was that 2022?
I think so.
Yeah, cause Punk was still, oh my God. 3 years. 3
Years of literally nothing.
3 years of man, what a waste. What a waste. I mean, I'm not even a huge Danhausen guy, but dude, in fact, I don't even really like the gimmick or whatever the fucking point of the whole thing is, but man, I mean, I could tell you I feel for the guy, man, because I mean that is generational. That is generational, just wasting of anybody's services. I don't care how fucking bad you are. I mean this is Omos levels of just sit the fuck on your couch and we are going to do nothing with you, man. But that sucks for him, dude. I think they still let him do indie shows, which I'm sure helps, but I'm sure the man just wants to move on with his life already. They should have released him.
They really should have, man. It sucks. That he was delegated to literally just never being used ever. So, hopefully when his contract's up, he could, actually move on from this company, man.
Yeah. So I'm sure he probably was going to make much more, or probably going to be back making a boatload of money, just back doing his regular indie stuff, man. So,
Oh yeah.
according to Uncle Dave, Private Party's AEW contracts are reportedly set to expire very soon, which could be interesting because AEW got started around like May, but I don't think Private Party got hired until like the summer of 2019. So I don't know how many exact deals they signed, man, but they are up very soon. And immediately when I seen this, man, this made all the sense in the world to me. What did you think of hearing this news, man? What was your initial reaction to this?
Thought it was good, man. Thought it was good. Hopefully, they'll be out of this company, and you know, WWE needs tag teams. I think they would fit very well over there, man. So I like the sound of them going over there, man. I like that sound. That's what I thought of first, and then I think you came to that same revelation I did, but I'll let you say that part.
When I seen this, I said to myself, okay, that explains perfectly why they put the tag titles on them miraculously. Finally, they decided to use these guys after all the years of not using them. Finally, now, all of the sudden, now you want to put a tag team title run onto these guys. And then what happens? Obviously, they did not re-sign. So what happens in the beginning of the year? These guys get absolutely squashed like fucking bugs by the Hurt Syndicate in a all-time ass whooping on Dynamite. These guys get beat the hell down by the Hurt Syndicate and squashed for the tag team championships. And immediately that made all the sense in the world, because immediately I said, oh, okay, that was Tony Khan being petty, not because he just didn't care for Private Party. That's one of the reasons. But the other reasons is he know these guys probably, I'm guessing, probably were offered new contracts and denied them, said maybe they wanted to test free agency, and you know what that means when a talent from AEW that underbooked says they want to test free agency. Basically what they're telling you is
Gone.
they're gone. And
Exactly.
and Tony Khan immediately in that moment probably envisioned these guys walking through the fucking doors of the WWE Performance Center and was enraged and had Bobby Lashley and Benjamin Shelton take it out on him. So
Exactly.
that is probably what happened to Private Party, and immediately that made all the sense in the world to me, and I said, oh wow, that was a case of Tony Khan being petty because he knew they were gone and nobody knew it yet. Wow.
Oh, 100%. That is the most, hey, we're not gonna resign news, is to just have them be destroyed and lose their tag team championships.
Wow, man. That is hilarious. But I fully expect these guys to go to WWE, man. I think they're going to end up there. I think, I don't think, I know they need tag teams sorely. I envision them going to NXT first. Yeah, I envision these guys going to NXT first just to maybe get their feet wet or whatever. And they're young, so I could see them wanting to just throw them in NXT first. I hope they won't be down there too long. Sean, he's probably going to put the fucking tag titles on them right away within 3 weeks
Oh
of
yeah,
being there.
you know it.
And then hopefully in no time they're up on the main roster, maybe sometime after WrestleMania, depending on when they get in. But yeah, Private Party looks to be gone, and that is great news, and that makes a lot of sense of a lot of the situation over the past year with them. So, yeah.
Oh, most definitely, man. Most definitely.
And with our final news story of the day, AEW. AEW. AEW this past week on Dynamite unveiled this very championship you see on your very screen. This was unveiled during the Okada and Omega contract signing because this is going to be the championship we get out of their winner-take-all match. People asked up and down for the Intercontinental Championship because, I don't know, maybe you have a Continental Championship and an International Championship on the other side. So it just made perfect sense to make the Intercontinental Championship. And what do?
Nope.
They give us a championship called the AEW Unified Championship. The belt is beautiful. What the fuck is that name?
Literally, dude. It's a beautiful title. Looks great. Is amazing, man. But the unified, I am the AEW Unified Champion.
Oh,
That is the
God.
dumbest title name I've probably ever heard of, dude. Listen, you're unifying a title. When Roman Reigns, unified, the world and then the Universal, he was the undisputed unified champion, man. That's what he was. Why would you name the unifying is a thing you do. It isn't a thing you're a champion of. How are you the champion of unified? like that does not make sense, man. Intercontinental was right there. You take two of your three mid card titles, you combine them into one, boom, Intercontinental title. It's something that everyone knows, and everyone knows its place on the show. Boom and simple. And they called it the Unified Championship. Horrible name.
So, also speaking of the championship, the AEW Unified Championships side plates feature Omega and Okada doing the Rainmaker and the One Winged Angel, and those are planned to be permanent on the belt per Uncle Dave. Everybody in the IWC was acting like this was a new thing. This is not a new thing. The tag team championships, I believe, have the Bucks doing their Meltzer driver on them. It's something AEW does as just an homage to their history and the legacy of their championships. It's something I really like, and I again, I like that they put their current stars on the championships. I think it adds a nice touch, and like I said, I think it just goes it just adds to the just prestige and the legacy of the championship by again having these people that crafted these titles or fought for these titles or feuded for these titles commemorated on the belt, or pioneers of the division, or whatever the case is. Classic rivalries, whatever. I like that they incorporate those kind of things on the championship. It's unique and it's cool.
Most definitely, I like that.
So, with that, according to Fightful, AEW are planning to book the AEW Unified Championship as a top title within the company rather than a mid to upper mid card title. So essentially, they are planning for that to be the second world championship.
It's the formula is so simple. You have a world title and then a company title. Boom. Simplest process in the world, dude. And you called it. And first of all, you have such a big roster. Two mid-card titles does make sense for the size of the roster you have. And you've been fine with one world title for now. You still should, spell your brands and create one, but that's a whole different conversation for a different day. You're gonna make the unified title a world level title. What am I gonna go after, man? Am I gonna go after the AEW world title, or am I gonna go after the AEW unified title? Which one do you think I'd go for, man?
See, here's the thing, bro. I don't think Tony understands. I don't really care how important you want this to be. This is always gonna be. I mean, you are combining two mid card titles. How do you expect anybody to look at that as anything other than just another mid card title? So essentially, you're going from 3 mid card championships to 2. I
Yeah,
highly doubt anybody looks at this as a unified championship, and Tony might try within the first month, but eventually I think this is just going to slap right back down to what the international championship is, because the international championship is a great championship. It has great lineage, it has great history, it's the workhorse title, it's their IC title pretty much. It's the workhorse champions
exactly.
title. That is all the unified championship's going to be, which is great. And it's great. It has a lot. It has identity within the company, like just like the international championship does. It has a good identity within the company. It's just not gonna be seen as a. I'm sure it will be seen as an upper mid card championship, but it will never be. I'm sorry, it's not gonna be considered as a top championship within the company, which isn't a bad thing. It's
No.
just not gonna. It's just not. I'm sorry. It's just not going to. Nobody, again, like you just put it in a perspective. If you're talking about AEW, and you tell somebody, yeah, there's 2 big championships, the AEW World Championship, and then there's the AEW Unified Championship. Which one do you think people are just off the name of the title alone are going to take more seriously as the main title? It's a World
Like,
Championship.
because it's a fucking world in the name. Um, but again, like the idea of you have another upper mid card title, and like you said, they're probably gonna try to make it a crazy world level title, and Tony Khan, he's not gonna be able to keep up with it, and it's just gonna be what the international title was, man. So might as well just call it the IC title, and just you'd have a better identity at that point.
Yeah. So that is pretty much everything we got here today for you guys. Yeah, that is all the news. That is all the news here today on episode 261. Again, one more time for you guys, man. If you guys did miss it in the beginning of the show, Unscripted is officially moving to Tuesdays starting June 24th, man. So we got one more week of the Monday time slot for Unscripted, and then we will be moving to Tuesdays. Very excited about the move, and I hope you guys are as well. So, yeah, that is everything for today. Thank you guys so very much for joining us here today on this edition of the Newsman. This has been episode 270 of the news. Thank you guys, as always, so very much for joining us here today, as it has been always a pleasure for my Johnny.
That's okay.
And that is going to do it for this edition of NHP. This has been episode 270. Thank you guys, everybody in the live chat, everybody in the replay mafia. Thank you guys. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you all on Monday after Raw one last time with NHP Unscripted.
Peace.